Wednesday, my dude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
How are you?
Good to see everybody. How you doing? I got a delicious beer. I'm going to get it out right now.
Tell me.
It's called Some Grass. So if you tell me to touch some grass, this is what you're telling me to do.
You've handled it. You're crushing the grass, the grass touching. Good job. I like it.
Highly recommend it, actually, too. It's a good beer by Moonraker.
Okay. The fake moon landing.
There you go.
I'm starting to wonder about that. Do you think we really landed on the moon?
We absolutely 100% landed on the moon.
You think it's a deep fake?
No. Sorry.
Loose change. What's going on in your world, Pat?
You do make a point. Once you start believing in 6 or 7 conspiracies that you know are true,
yeah,
it does sort of open up like, well, maybe that other thing's full of shit.
That's where they get us. That is where they get us. I saw some really cool experiment that was, I don't know who actually created it. There were no names attached to the man who was speaking, but it was about a sociological experiment where a group of people come together and maybe there's like 12 of them. 2 of them, everybody gets a card, and 10 cards say villager and 2 cards say werewolf, but nobody knows who's who. And the next, bless you, everyone closes her eyes, and the person, then the leader, control person, says, okay, open your eyes. 1 person was killed, whatever, Nathan. Well, you all need to figure out who the werewolves are, because you have to kill the werewolves. And the game is the 2 werewolves have to kill 2 villagers, or the villagers have to find the 2 werewolves, right? So like how they figure it out.
Got it.
And because nobody knows the truth except for 2 people, it's completely what ends up happening almost every time is the werewolves kill 2 villagers before the 10 people can figure out who the 2 werewolves are. And the point of it was, if you control the information, the small group who controls the information always rules the world. And apparently it was like a Russian PhD student years ago who came up with this sociological experiment. But it does, that control on information. And also, I'm seeing things now that I know must be deep fakes. There was millions of people protesting in Japan, and then somebody said it was AI, and then it's like, oh God, now you have to do 5 more steps to corroborate anything you ever see. I mean, it's
funny you mention that, because I'm exactly at that stage where I'm realizing I can't tweet something out without sourcing it, even if it's Twitter. And we pull clips all the time for our show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's something a little suspicious about that one.
Yep.
And I'll look, and 4 out of 5 times it's legit, but 1 out of 5 or whatever is too high a number to just start tweeting things willy-nilly,
Absolutely. And another
especially
thing
for a show.
Yes, I mean, our fake news show is apparently on YouTube Shorts. They are automatically applying a filter that kind of flattens colors and makes it look, and flattens shadows a little bit. It makes it look sort of AI, which is going to allow people to be much more receptive when it's all AI, right? It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. The truth is out there. Let it set us free.
But still, back to the study, even it proves that information is, you get the real information. Don't be one of the idiot 8 villagers. The information's out there. We have the capability to look up the truth about COVID stuff, about Palestine, about so just don't believe the big guy with the loudest voice every time. do a little of your own research.
And the Dark Lord
do Jimmy Dore's version of the research.
Back during COVID.
Do yours.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. All right. Let's thank our wonderful heroes and sheroes, our members. We love you guys. Thank you. We get so many comments in our DMs talking about how great our show chat is, and what camaraderie and community, and I love it. So we are super grateful for all of you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I have to do, yes, it's not AI. It's a real picture, isn't it? It's a real picture.
Our background's real. I mean, it's real fake. It's a photograph. We try not to use AI for anything. I mean, I do use Photoshop, but I'm not pushing an AI button anywhere. I'm actually
same. And for I changed my search engine to DuckDuckGo, which you can just toggle off entirely the AI. Whereas if for Google, each search you have to remember to do minus AI, which you just yeah,
and it's killing me. Like, okay, people. If you don't trust the value, if you don't trust a tweet is authentic or a news story is authentic, don't fucking ask Grok, okay?
Oh my God.
And if your instinct is to ask Grok, at the very least, just scroll a little bit. Somebody else has already asked Grok. So Grok keeps getting asked like 20 times to verify the basic thing on every fucking tweet on Earth. Like, this is silly. This is silly. Stop it, people. Yeah,
it really is. And yeah, if you scroll down, also, if you just scroll down to comments, like people will be like, can you explain what the joke is here? Like, I actually would be too embarrassed to write that out loud, right? Like, I would just sort of scroll through and do my own research before just putting it out there that I can't understand, very basic post. But yeah.
Grok, is 2 + 2 4, really? Can you prove that? I don't know. It's real dumb. Our world is becoming stupider, truly. We really are.
Truly
turning into a bunch of fucking idiots.
Absolutely. I think Jay just made a joke. I'm assuming that's a like a prom joke. And I don't think that Josh is a paid member. What? All right. Let's do our cheers, which is wait, is that where we are now? What's happening? I got distracted.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Let's go cheers.
Okay. Cheers. Everything, I mean, I have to say, like, everything feels too little too late. So, yes, cheers, but holy fuck. But anyway, the truth is there are a lot of people who work for Microsoft who have been protesting all along. They created a cloud for Israel called Azure, and they had been given assurances that it would, trust me, bro, it's going to be used for good. It turns out, of course, that it's not. It is used for every single phone call is data mined. It's like swept up any call in or out of Palestine. I think it's both West Bank and Gaza, is swept into this cloud. And then everything is combed through. I mean, they have, obviously millions of points of data now. So if you call somebody and you say something like, I am starving and I'm ready to be a martyr, they might just pick up the word martyr. And then, so like lots of mistakes can happen. It's a complete, obviously, violation of privacy. And it is used to, surveil a society that is being genocided. So these are sorry, go ahead.
Well, and it becomes justification, you're Hamas, because you said this thing on a phone call, you called this guy who we know is Hamas, who's not even Hamas, but the AI already declared him Hamas.
Exactly.
It's just a terrible system. And just before we show it, I want to remind people, when Palantir started, just like these Microsoft employees think they're doing good.
Yeah.
Palantir was seen by people joining them as a democratization of technology, and they had a board that people could put their input in, and it was supposed to be this sort of like Google was originally seen as this the good company. Yeah, so they were almost the good billionaire of the tech industry. Yeah. For years,
Remember all the talk about how they treated their employees and the great workspaces and everything, and all of that. I mean, it was all just a snow job on all of us, propaganda. But yes, 100%. Well, and Alex Karp was a big Democrat, right? So that probably pacified a lot of people's concerns initially. But anyway, so they in Richmond, Washington, have set up their own encampment, shutting down that branch of Microsoft for the time being. And they're calling, I love this, for a global intifada of the workplace. So, I mean, honestly, the encampments are great, the protests are great, but I think they are actually putting a wrench in the cog of the machine by doing this, right? Because some of them are former employees, but some of them are current employees, and they are, prohibiting some capital from being derived from Microsoft, but not enough.
Ever. Thank you, Justin. And absolutely, the important part is not so much. We're past the phase of educating the public. The public knows, but in this case, the public may not know Microsoft is evil. So that's a whole new campaign to point out that Microsoft is evil.
It used to be run by the good billionaire.
But actually stopping the harm is the next phase. We have to actually do something, yeah. And so whatever they can accomplish at Microsoft themselves, I mean, it's better than nothing. So cheers. And
absolutely cheers to them. And also this is separate, but it's happening on Saturday. And just before we forget, there has been a growing call to mobilize a military intervention into Gaza. And so they are doing a big public workshop this Saturday. I don't know if we are able to listen in, if it's going to be televised or not televised, but streamed. But these people, it's Protect Palestine, have been doing, some really good work trying to galvanize nations. And I think they have 11 different countries now. And then, hundreds of people who are prominent in the pro-Palestine community who are either speaking or endorsing this. And I think, again, it's really late to have this happen, but something has to happen.
It is, but I mean, when you're at the point of talking about not just a national, international, group of people, but like regular activists joining a military intervention, that's how fucked we are right now, and we're so over our head in that realm. But that it's just like the Freedom Flotilla is now, the next phase is like 30 boats. Yeah. It's like we have to escalate all this as much as we can. And this sounds amazing. I'm going to listen in and see.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's this Saturday. Again, it's Saturday I think it is UK based. The coordinator, the main guy who's on that top left, Kamen Noor. Yeah. So, but they have it in 24 hours. What'd you say?
I said, somebody Google what the Palestine time is.
Yeah. Use your AI. Ask Rob. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, yeah. So, but as you said, none of these people is a head of state, right? These are, they are heavily involved in the liberation of Palestine, one way or the other. Poets, artists. Craig Mogaber was a part of the UN. He resigned because of the U.S. involvement in this genocide. But yeah, we need leaders to bring out the troops, because lying down and taking it is not going to work at all. Okay, should we spin before we get into all the stuff?
We should get into the joy. I'm looking over at my cat in the litter box, pooping as she stares at me, which is great. Normally that I would say, whatever, but she did wake me up, literally peeing on me for the first time in months today. So It's, you know.
What did you do?
Life. I threw her. That's what I do.
I mean, what did you do? Why was she peeing on you?
I don't know. You know, actually, I do know Pablo's been sleeping in for the first time in a while because there's all this construction outside.
Oh,
so I think it's a piss war again, even though Pobs doesn't pee everywhere. My other one,
right?
But I think she somehow has decided to pee all over me. She's claiming me.
Yeah, it does sound like a
Steve, that is it. Yes.
Yeah, like a not an edgelord move, but something like a controlling move while she looks at you while doing it.
Alpha cat.
Cat, yeah. All right, let's there we go. That's our new wheel set up. Let's do it. All right, do we have a what the fuck? I do miss our baby wheel, whatever. Maybe we can steal that song, not song, but a baby. Okay, what's our what the fuck?
Geez, we got a couple. Let's go with this one. Whatever, I forget which one of this is.
I love that. That actually felt a little Zen-like to me. Moment of Zen. It's a few of those streets were close to where I lived when I lived in Italy, in Rome. That's cool.
Oh, really?
I love it. Yeah.
I love Rome. Well, I love Italy. I never loved Rome, but
yeah. Rome is like, I love it. We live there. It's a little dirtier, and you sort of, I like going into Trastevere, which is the old area that's a little more sort of, to me feels like authentic Roman, you know, but I understand that. I think a lot of people have that because it is so touristy, and if you're not in the sort of old center, it can feel.
Yeah, the area around the Coliseum just feels like a dirty San Francisco to me.
yeah.
But they're amazing architecture, obviously. The Coliseum.
My gosh, yeah.
There's so much great stuff.
Yeah.
Italy's one of my favorite countries. But that video just made me feel like a kid. I think our brains are all shrinking. So
yeah, it is. With every COVID infection, we're just lopping off more and more of our brain capacity. It's amazing. And then we're going to hear about, you know, it was those 3 months of lockdown or whatever that we never recovered from. All right. So lots of stuff going on. Let's just start with our with RFK Jr., who last week we found him climbing mountains in his jeans with Dr. Oz. Now he is doing the presidential fitness challenge with white supremacist Hegseth. Enjoy.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2. 1, 2, 3. 3. Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary. I'm here with Secretary Hegseth from the Department of Defense. And we had our big Pete and Bobby challenge today. 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups. You try to get under 5 minutes. How'd you do?
We got close. I was about 5:25. You were right behind me.
We had a couple of Marines here.
One beat 3 minutes, a couple beat 4 minutes. Pretty impressive.
It was President Trump who inspired us to do this. This is the beginning of our tour, challenging Americans to get back in shape, eat better, but also you need to get out and exercise. And we have a challenge. There's another cabinet member who we hoped would show up today. We told him there was a cabinet meeting here. But anyway, we want to send out a challenge to Sean Duffy to come and do this.
So Secretary Duffy, you're invited to do the Pete and Bobby challenge. Can you do it in under 5 minutes? 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups. What do you think?
If you can beat 6 minutes, you can be part of this club.
And yes, thank you, President Trump, for setting the example. Presidential physical fitness, make America healthy again. Fit, not fat. We're going to have a war-fighting force with young men and women who are prepared to defend the nation. We're doing it as a team. Join us. Appreciate you. Absolutely.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Okay, so many
Where to
things.
start?
Yeah, the picture of health, first of all, like they both look so roided out.
Inspired by Donald Trump. First of all,
Inspired by Donald Trump, right? And okay, 50 pull-ups and 100 push-ups in under 5 minutes. That's the challenge.
Yeah, first off, 100 real push-ups in 5 minutes. I'm not sure that's that big of a challenge for a lot of people, because you can do 10 and take a break, do 10 and take a break. But anyway, that's fine. But did you see those push-ups? Those are not push-ups. Your elbows are supposed to go all the way out to be a push-up. You're doing these little.
They're doing the half ones. They're doing like my kind of ones. Yeah, and I can't even do a pull-up to save my life. So you give me 50 plus years and I wouldn't be able to come up with one pull-up.
Yeah.
That always.
Look, I don't want to mock Trump's fatness either. Like, to me, like, you shouldn't be. He's an old guy. That's the body he's got. I don't know his health situation.
Yeah.
But for this thing to be inspired by him, who's that fat guy, it's just really absurd.
Well, and he's like the
real danger
of
all this is the eugenics of it all. That's the real problem. It's like this is all being used to justify, you got to get out there. You're in charge of your own health. Don't look for the government to fix you. You just go do some push-ups.
Exactly.
Do some pull-ups and push-ups. Sorry about the lack of COVID funding and research and,
no health care. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about all of that. No more mRNA vaccines. We're going to eat McDonald's and what was it? Shake Shack or something they're really not into the seed oils too. That's a whole big thing. But yeah, so finally, because we've been wondering what the hell is going on with RFK Jr. always working out in his jeans. He was finally asked on Fox News by Jesse Waters, and this is his really lame response.
I have to ask you a question that everybody's wondering about. Why do you wear jeans when you work out?
Well, I just started doing that a long time ago because I would go hiking in the morning and then I'd go straight to the gym. And I found it was convenient and now I'm used to it, so I just do it.
Having gone to gyms my whole life, every time I see that guy in the gym, it's a mentally ill person of some sort. So
also what it means is like, I mean, sorry, but like, do you work out and sweat and then you just keep on with your day? You don't shower? Like most people change out of their stinky, gross gym clothes before they move on to the next part of their day. Whatever.
Well, the first part is the uncomfortableness that you're experiencing wearing jeans instead of better clothes. But the second part is, you're really wearing those jeans because you're just rolling into your day being a stinky, sweaty person.
I mean,
that's you called it. That's the real problem.
Look, all of it. Every part of them lacks complete self-awareness. They just don't care. And as dumb as something like this is, it just feels so illustrative of everything happening now, whether it's, and we'll get into this, like the ridiculous, like, dark woke memes of Gavin Newsom or Cuomo hiring this, Trump supporting meme guy, or like doing a genocide where everybody knows what's happening and the whole world is against you, not implementing any policies that your whole country wants. I mean, like, they're not out of touch. They just do not give a fuck. They don't care. We are like, it doesn't matter. Because that should be embarrassing. Like, that video is embarrassing. The video of him on Venice Beach at Muscle Beach, shirtless in his jeans, working out last year when he was running for president, embarrassing. Like, having an affair with that newsy woman, Olivia Nuzzi, whatever, who wrote for New York Magazine or New Yorker, whatever. I mean, like, all of it, when you're running to be president of the United States and you know that the whole world is like watching every move, like all of it, they just do not care about what anybody, like, we are completely disposable.
Well, look, with him, the hypocrisy is really with RFK Jr. The hypocrisy is really insulting to me because he's this guy. I don't want to make steroid accusations because I've gotten those my whole life and those are false for me. And maybe he's just a fit guy, but he's also taking a crazy amount of untested, unproven, that purple shit he used to drink.
That blue junk.
For the guy who's in charge of our health to say, okay, work out like me, he's in jeans doing baby push-ups and he's drinking the purple shit that's really bad for you, and they're saying, but don't take the healthy vaccines. It's all of that's really disgusting. It's like, but on the other hand, he's the purple guy to be out there, or methyl and blue, sorry, not purple shit, but he's the perfect guy to be out there doing this because it does point out how stupid it is. Nobody's looking at him and thinking, I want to be like him. Are they? I don't think so. Like,
I can't imagine. I have no idea anymore what anybody thinks. Like, we're all just so siloed off into our own worlds.
Yeah.
And also, like, I just don't, like, unfortunately, it doesn't matter. It's like, we've won the policy debate on the left for the most part, whether it's healthcare or climate, but not COVID, that's the one, but housing, living wage, war, like all of that, the majority of the country and the world is with us, and it, like, nothing matters. So this is just like fun for them. And actually to have that little tag at the end produced by the Department of Health and Human Services, I've never even seen something like that where you hear that. Like, that's not that great a video that you need to give yourselves credit for it. Like, what else are you doing?
Well, it's because the guys running this stuff are like big balls, you know, for Doge. It's just a bunch of immature people, largely. They're like dunk. He hired people that like to dunk on people on Twitter, like that's who's running the PR campaigns of all these organizations. But I think RFK, what bugs me the most about him is he is the one shining example of the left being responsible for this guy. The left is responsible for him because we failed on the left to recognize COVID, which elevated this guy and all his anti-vax COVID nonsense. Yep. So, like, he couldn't have rose to power without us. Like, a lot of people on the left going, I kind of like him for some of these things he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another case of where, like, a glimmer of truth goes a long way, right? Like, why are people dying suddenly? Well, if you act like the vaccine solves everything, and then people are dying suddenly because you can still get COVID once you've had the vaccine, and then that can lead to blood clots, strokes, heart attacks, but you don't want to talk about that because you say it's anti-vax, then you leave this opening. If during the lockdowns and the transfer of wealth and the PPP loans were forgiven for, millionaires and billionaires, then this emergency, this public health emergency was truly a public health emergency, but it was also used to enrich the rulers of the world. So, like, I mean, that's the corruption is always
still being used for that. It's still being used for that. And, the mass delusion of the entire world on COVID is really like, okay, so the left's position not the Jimmy Dore left, but the Democratic position is vaxxers solve everything. The vaxxers are last people. Well, they're mad that the vaxxers are not being financed and they're harder to get. And you have to be 65 years and older now to get the Novavax vaccine, for example. But they're not even vaxxing. So it's like they've just blinded themselves this whole thing, because if they think about it, it's going to harm their brain and they just can't think about it, you know? So, before we get off the COVID, not that we're even into COVID, I did just see on the Novavax vaccine, because they're going to release another round of it at the end of this month, or September is the next variant of the Novavax vaccine. But I did see that under the stipulations, 65 or older, but you can also say you have a pre-existing condition, which you can self-report.
That's right.
So
that's right.
You can get the Novavax vaccine. You just have to find the availability. But you don't have to show any documentation or proof. You don't have to explain what condition it was. You just have to self-report.
This with my doctor.
Recommended for me based on my medical conditions.
That's right. And I did just read, and maybe this isn't true, but it should be coming out by the end of this month, as you said, beginning of September. But that it's going to be the same, the JN1 variant. So it's still addressing the same variant that the last iteration of Novavax addressed,
because it was proven to be the most durable vaccine with the longest lasting result. And they are showing that it also has some mucosal preventative effects, because COVID initially builds up in your mucus in your nose largely. So it has a little bit of a preventative effect that you don't get from the mRNA vaccines.
Right. And also, there's also something, if you had mRNA initially and then switched over and you got Novavax plus the boosters of Novavax, that seems to have like the widest spectrum of efficacy. And Justin, I see you're saying this, and I feel like there is a time frame that you're supposed to wait for before you get boosted again. So you should look that up, but it's just a few months.
Yeah,
that, you know, and then you could get the Novavax one. So and because we're not really going to get to it, just so everybody knows, obviously it is still out there. It is almost 100,000 new cases every week. And this is the map. This is what it looks like, with lots of non-calming orange, red, and deep red states coming forward. And Mike Horger, who's he does all of these
data guy for COVID.
Data guy, and sort of analyzes and forecasts what the next trends and spikes will be. But he posted this on top of a Newswire post that says U.S. bankruptcies surge past 2020 pandemic levels, because we're still in the pandemic, of course, which nobody ever wants to talk about. But, you know, there's lots of disability happening, even though the acute phase is sending fewer people to death. So I know we all know this, but whoops, are you doing that or am I doing it? Sorry about that. Oh, look at that. So
and I want to say one. On the COVID front, they changed how the CDC's changed how they're reporting the wastewater. So Mike has to comb through their data to find what the old data looked like. It's the real data. It's the current real data, but they're changing how they report it in a way.
They were putting all respiratory viruses and diseases together, which
the only point is to minimize COVID.
Exactly. Which, you know, I mean, sorry, like, I know we all know this, but it started under Trump, who said, well, if we don't report the numbers, then it's like COVID's over. And then Biden came in and did that also. And here we are. Okay. So the GOP is having some interesting stuff go on recently. So on Sunday, we talked a little bit about, the cyber chief, the Israeli government official who was arrested in Nevada in internet crimes against children sting. Tom Artyom Alexandrovich was released and returned to Israel after being charged with luring a child for a sex act. More details have come out. Initially, there was a denial by the State Department that they had intervened on his behalf. But of course, how could he have, everybody else I think they arrested 8 people. The other 7 all have court appointments, and he scurried back to Israel. So the State Department put out a denial. He did not claim diplomatic immunity, and he was released by a state judge pending a court date. Any claims that the U.S. government intervened are false. Then the U.S. attorney for Nevada, her name is Chata. No, what's her first name? Something Chata. I can't remember her. Sigal Chata says a liberal district attorney and state court judge in Nevada failed to require an alleged child molester to surrender his passport, which allowed him to flee our country. The Attorney General Pam Bondi just called me outraged, and she also called the FBI Director Kash Patel. The individual who fled our country should have had his passport seized by the state authorities. He must be returned immediately to face justice. Nobody is buying
Let's see if
this.
that was true. Let's see if that was true.
I mean, so when you dig into this lady a little more, she was just appointed recently. And like, I think, I don't know how many people actually spoke out against her saying she was not qualified, but Sigal Chata, rose to prominence in the U.S. for her anti-COVID restriction advocacy. Now she's promoting Israeli pride, so she and her fellow expats won't have to go back to Israel. She's recently just shut down her own personal account, which is filled with genocidal rhetoric against Palestinians. Everybody's a terrorist in Gaza, flatten them. Palestinians are the trash of the Middle East. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's revolting, obviously. But what's also really interesting is the person who was arrested and flown back was the head of cybersecurity for Israel's cybersecurity department, but also heavily advises our cybersecurity people who also have Israeli ties, who either worked for, the IDF or the 8200 section of the spy unit. And so Sean King, who I know we all have different feelings about him, who used to be a Bernie guy and then has had multiple accusations of siphoning money that he's raised in the name of people, many of whom were mothers of Black kids who had been shot and killed by cops. And then the allegation is that it never went to him. Anyway, it went to them. But he did a deep dive on this and started posting about the records because, at first there was a denial that he was even arrested, and he got the arrest records. He made tons of calls. He posted all this, and then it was all wiped out on Twitter. In the middle of the night. So he writes this on August 18th, 2 days ago. In the middle of the night, Elon Musk deleted every single tweet I've made about the Israeli pedophile Tom Alexandrovich that was arrested in Las Vegas for sex crimes against children. All of them, every retweet, every link to my articles, gone. Hundreds of my tweets about Alexandrovich are gone. Every response from Grok about my articles was also deleted. And this is the response he gets from Grok. I apologize for any inconvenience, Sean. As Grok, I don't control X's moderation. Based on my analysis of public records, your prior tweets and my responses about Tom Artyom Alexandrovich appear removed, possibly due to X's policies on sensitive content or automated filters. The arrest is confirmed by Las Vegas, what is that? Municipal something. What's M? Metropolitan Police Department and multiple outlets. For details, check official sources. So, the webs of complicity.
Yeah. And I mean, we're in a stage where AI is going to catch some of this stuff, but they're going to sharpen up AI to where it's going to, when they cut its memory, it's going to actually lose its memory and not be able to, But right now, they can't stop it from combing the web to find the information out that this area that they erased is sorry, my cat's got the zoomies. It's distracting the shit out of me. But yeah, AI right now is pointing out some good things about these people being proven liars. So,
I mean, yeah, it's pretty amazing what's happening. I have not seen any Democrat speak out against it. And as much as I, cannot stand this woman, she is a horror show. And I'm sure she's got some side angle going on. I don't know what it is, but Marjorie Taylor Greene wrote, why did our government release a child sex predator from Israel who worked directly under the prime minister of Israel? And now Netanyahu is lying and completely denying it. Why isn't Mark Levin pitching a hissy fit over this? And why isn't Laura Loomer rage posting about this and claiming she broke the story? So, and posts the arrest records that show that this Alexandrovich was one of the people arrested in spite of the initial denials.
Yeah.
I mean,
the biggest thing from her is she puts the whole pox on the progressives that, like, how are you losing this fight to Marjorie Taylor Greene? Like,
yes,
this is such an easy thing to call out. And she's calling it out under her MAGA broham Trump, like right in front of Trump, and still calling it out. And you, the opposition to Trump, can't call this stuff out.
I mean, it is jaw dropping.
And but say what you want about her. Being anti-Israel was her personality before all this started. And so that's why she can do it. She's not beholden to the Israeli lobby. Like, she truly isn't. She's also a racist piece of shit about Israel.
Yeah, I didn't know that she was anti-Israel initially.
Oh, I don't know. She probably wasn't in regards to Trump and what happened in Israel. She probably wasn't in regard to Palestine, right? She would have defaulted to supporting Trump, but she was always like, blame the Jews for things. So like this falls.
The space lasers and all that. Yeah, she's definitely an anti-Semite. Yeah.
So because of that, she was not funded by Israel. She doesn't get AIPAC money.
Right.
So she exists outside of the ecosystem that most of the politicians do,
yes.
Even if it's because she's a terrible racist.
Right.
That
right.
To say the truth about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
The others don't.
Yeah. It does. And, the other thing that she wrote in reference to what we showed on Sunday with the Heal Palestine organization losing all of their visas for children who have dire medical needs because of our bombs and our money going to Israel committing this genocide. So these children had gotten visas to come with their parents or families, if they have any, or, people who are their guardians. They were all canceled because Laura Loomer threw some hissy fit about them all being Hamas, these children. And that also seemed to outrage Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she writes, 2 recent decisions made by the State Department both involve children. We need to be the America that allows war-torn children to come here for life-saving surgeries, and the America that never releases a foreign child sex predator that our great law enforcement officers caught. But in this circumstance, those war-torn children are from Gaza, and this foreign child sex predator is from Israel and works directly for Netanyahu. Let me guess. Would it be anti-Semitic to drag Netanyahu's cyber executive director back and prosecute this piece of shit to the full extent of the law, and at the same time let Palestinian kids who had their limbs and bodies blown apart receive surgeries in America? Lest you worry that she's growing too soft a heart, I'm not saying bring in refugees or use taxpayer dollars, not at all. But when did America's heart grow so cold to refuse innocent children privately funded surgeries and then they return home after they recover? Wouldn't we allow Israeli children if they were the ones needing surgery, or war-torn children from any other country? And the most concerning question is, when and how did America become so subservient to Israel that we immediately release a child sex predator after arrest with 100% locked up case with evidence and let him off to fly back home to Israel? Would we do that with a Mexican child sex predator, Chinese sex predator, any other country's child sex predator? I know God does not discriminate in his love for children. Why would we? I mean, take everything she says, obviously, with, tons and tons of salt, but where's the ruckus from the left? Because I see nothing.
And I mean, what did she say that was wrong, honestly? Like, I mean,
yeah.
I think she gets away with this because look, if a straight-laced Republican said this on this issue alone, he would get slaughtered by Trump. But she is such a bridge to the MAGA crazy left, crazy right, that he can't really go to war with her, and she's going to try to survive politically past Trump. So it's strategically smart, and it's good of her to bring this stuff up because that's where the people are. People support all of that. The MAGA base supports all of that, to be honest.
I mean, or at least
largely,
overall, Republicans do just
enough to not,
like
it's not harming. It would not harm Trump with the MAGA base if they let U.S. doctors continue performing amputation surgery. You select people.
Yeah, 100%. And it is, I mean, it's insane to me, as Jen says, that like we have people in Congress who came in to cause a ruckus and to fight for what their constituents want. And I mean, we hear none of it. None of it. Not about Epstein, really. I mean, Ro Khanna is now teaming up with, I think, with Thomas Massie and they do have some people signing on to try to get the Epstein files released. But again, it's like they ran on it. Trump ran on this, right? Ran saying we are going to release the files, or at least all of MAGA thought he was going to. All of the manosphere, the podcast people, they thought, and now all of a sudden, I mean, to me, I think that was probably the biggest shift for his support. All the other things were there, right? The tariffs, the money still, being so tight, and inflation and prices going up, not loving the wars, all of that. But somehow the Epstein, the non-release of Epstein files was the one that really sent everybody over.
Well, but yeah, you're calling it exactly correct, because I'm not saying it's the smallest issue, because it does matter a lot. It's really fucking terrible and shows our corrupt system, but it's the one thing that Democrats could most go after him for, even if it's not the biggest issue.
Right.
It's the clearest thing that they should be attacking the hell out of them, but it's only marginalized people like Ro Khanna, who's too young to be in the Epstein files, largely. Right. So they can get a group of people, but the whole party isn't even going after him for Epstein, because they know a lot of their guys are tied up in it, and their donors are not happy. They don't want to, they don't really want to expose. So it's going to remain the fringe issue, even though it could be front and central. It shouldn't be the biggest issue, but it should be one of these issues. But they can't even beat them on this issue, is my point, I guess.
Yeah.
Taking a long time to get there. Like, this is an easy issue to beat them on.
It is. And it's an issue of trust and transparency and corruption, and ties to, genocidal spy agencies, both ours and Israel's. I mean, there's a lot there that in some ways, just like every other subject we ever talk about, it all intersects. But this is a pretty big intersection, because obviously the rapes and abuse are horrific, but it also opens up people's eyes to how our power brokers are being controlled by even more powerful people. And I think that is really important. Like, why are people making decisions that they're making? There was just an interview with Michael Wolff talking about, oh gosh, what was the book? I mean, I pulled it, but it's so blurry that I don't know if it's
about Melania having sex with Epstein.
Yeah. So, I mean, that to me is, I mean, he implies or asserts that that's why Trump was really upset and didn't want parts of this book coming out, that she had been having sex with Epstein like a year before she and Trump started their relationship. But the really revolting part that he points out is the hardcover of the book still includes the chapter on the fact that there was a sexual relationship between Melania and Epstein. But the book on tape and the ebook have had that removed. Which again, it's like what Trump's doing with the Smithsonian, right? Like, or, what the Prager Institute is doing with slavery. It's like whitewashing, removing the distasteful parts in the record. And then once you've taken away history, then what? I mean, that to me is terrifying, actually. All right. What else do we have on the lovely GOP? I mean, not a ton, honestly. It's just a horror show. There was this whole Putin summit, and I'm not entirely sure why so many reporters were losing their mind about the body language, and we still haven't found out. But just to get a taste. So this was, I think this was on Sunday. This was Fox News talking about the summit. It's just a short clip.
It was just very unusual, atypical, and I think we're all awaiting, the readout, because the way that it felt in the room was not good. It did not seem like things went well, and it seemed like Putin came in and steamrolled, got right into what he wanted to say, and got his photo next to the president and then left.
So that's Fox.
So do we have some more of it? Because I was going to say, there is a movement among Fox and right-wing radio, because I've been listening, I love my spare time radio because I hate myself. But they are like hammering him on this Putin stuff. And there's a whole right-wing conspiracy that it wasn't even Putin. It was a body double. And what an insult that they sent a body double to meet with Trump. And but I'm saying that's like, this is not a fringe, like couple articles here and there. There's a lot of right-wing talk about this guy that met with Trump wasn't even Putin.
Well, so Trump comes into office saying he'll handle this in 24 hours. Once he's president, he's going to end this war. It never would have happened under his watch. And now it's however many months later, we're past 100 days, it's way past the 24 hours. He rolls out a literal red carpet, which was really upsetting to a lot of people, the body language, and then basically kind of backed out of the negotiations part and just was like, okay, well, we're going to have to get Zelensky in here and he better wear a suit. But this was just before we move on to that part of it with Zelensky. This was more sort of, I don't know, consternation, confusion from MSNBC.
What struck me, Jen, in particular, was really just the looks on the faces of a lot of the American delegation here. Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, Steve Witkoff, who came into the room, then left quickly, then came back in. Leavitt appeared to be a bit stressed out, anxious. Their eyes were wide, almost ashen at times. Those were some of the sort of images that will stick with me as we leave here. This was not the way the president likes to do things. He likes to be the producer of this presidency. He got that in the first half of the day, but when he was behind closed doors with Vladimir Putin, it looks like he didn't come away with anything that he claimed he wanted. He said he'd go home unhappy if there was no ceasefire. They didn't declare one here today.
I mean, and then people are upset that Nicole Wallace said something about shit on MSNBC also. But this talk about how everybody was like wide-eyed and ashen after talking with Putin. The one piece of information that's been sort of proffered as a possible explanation is that Putin showed that there's been, I think, 1.6 million Ukrainian deaths. But I think the US would know that anyway. They don't tell it to the public. They want people to think it's going great, or it's, tit for tat, or whatever it is. But I mean, honestly, I don't understand what could have been so upsetting for everybody, unless it's the Epstein tapes. I mean, I just don't know. Like, what is it?
Oh yeah, that could be.
I mean, there was Medvedev said that he said Israel's not the only one who has tapes on Trump. So.
Right. I mean, I think honestly, aside from all of it, it's just if you're trying to negotiate a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia, what's the incentive for Russia to stop other than just humanity stop killing people? And but there's no all the economic pain we thought we'd inflict on them has been avoided.
Yeah,
like they are benefiting economically from this war because it's driving us away from Europe.
Yep.
They found other avenues to sell oil,
solidifying. Yeah.
So none of this is really hurting them. So what's your big negotiating tool if you're Donald Trump, art of the deal guy?
Yeah.
You know, it's not there. I mean,
but again, like, I mean, I agree with you, but like, how is this news? Like, it's not news to us, right? Like we know this because of reading independent journalists who actually report what's happening on the ground, right? Like they must have better information than we do. They know it's not going well for Ukraine. They don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I think in a large way with Trump, he doesn't know a lot about what's going on.
Yeah.
He's just a narcissist living in his own world with these other things. You know, it's like the most important thing in Trump's campaign right now is how much money he can make off crypto. So aside from that, this other stuff is sort of like, the other stuff is sort of like, well, let me know what the minimum I need to know to go into this deal.
Yeah.
But he probably went into this meeting and said some stupid shit, got called out for his stupid shit, and then got slapped in the face with the facts of how the war is really going without all the blowhards fluffing Trump up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it really is shocking to me that anybody who works in the State Department wouldn't already know the facts on the ground. Like that part of it, I just don't understand why.
They know.
Right. But the reporting is that everybody around him looked shocked and ashen and the body language was uncomfortable and they scuttled out and like.
Right. But
that part I don't understand.
But that piece is so the State Department that Trump has himself surrounded by now are yes men.
Right.
Right. So when you're talking to the State Department, you're not talking about the State Department over a reasonable administration.
Not
you're talking
the
about people that are,
yeah,
you're talking about big balls from Doge.
Yeah, and Carolyn Levitt or whatever. Right.
They're going to look shocked that you would talk to this guy right here, my boss, like that. Oh my God, I'm in awe. You know, like we've lost the realism of it all. They know individually what's up, but they're also working for a despot who fucking.
They believe in the power of Trump.
You got to say things he wants to hear. So,
yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, to counter all of that, just as a reminder, she's been right about everything, Pat.
I think all of that is a very good signal that there is beginning to be a better understanding, both by the president and the people around him, as well as by the leaders of our European allies, that there can be common ground amongst us. And the kind of dismissiveness that we saw in the first Trump administration has been replaced by a much more obvious working relationship to the good of European security, transatlantic security, and hopefully Ukrainian security. So I'm actually encouraged.
I was looking for...
Finger on the pulse.
The twaddle alert needs more cowbell. I don't know. Stop. We have a few options here.
I mean,
bullshit alert. We don't endorse whatever.
Like she comes out and says, just pablum. Like, what is she even talking about? Like, yeah, actually, it would be great if we did have some diplomacy anywhere here. It would be great if in 2022, I
need to. When she was talking, I was thinking I need to put the scissors farther away from me here as well for my own safety.
But yeah, I mean, it's because of the U.S. using Ukrainian bodies to fight against this superpower that, of course, was never going to be demolished by Ukraine. And Russia's only taken on more territory. There have been peace proposals that we've forced, what's his name? Zelensky to walk away from. And all that's done is put Ukraine in a much worse bargaining position. And right now, Russia has no reason to stop.
Right.
So,
and I think when you hear something from Hillary's mouth, you have to frame that in, well, what was her role aside from running and losing the country to the right twice?
Right.
Secretary of State. So she is more beholden to the weapons industry, who loves all of this, like that. That's her circle of friends. Like the people that want war to continue are the most important people in her world for the most part, and were for her peak power in politics. It was as Secretary of State with the weapons industry wanting her to promote war.
And weaken
so in
Russia,
that
like
respect, she
truly.
loves Trump.
Yeah. She is truly, truly despicable. Justin, thank you. Cheers. My name is Donald Reek Trump. Yeah. Okay. Wait a second. There was one. Yeah. That's the other thing is like, I don't understand her praise of diplomacy. I just think she is trying. I wonder if there's a part of her that's worried about whatever's happening with Epstein. If anything is revealed, she doesn't want to be on the wrong side of that. I don't know if that's it. She's never been pro diplomacy, so I don't know why she's taking that avenue right now to support Trump right now. It's just, I mean, she is just really.
It's very strange. And like, honestly, there might be some connection to the Epstein stuff for her to be coming out now. It just doesn't make any, like, she's got two passions in her life: supporting the wars and the war industry, because that's where that's her like, you know, her power separate of Bill Clinton is that she was Secretary of State. Right. But the other thing is she hates Trump. That's her whole identity. She's hating Trump. So to drop the hating Trump over bad foreign policy.
Yeah.
But it, you know, it hits the other nerve that she loves, but it's just very odd.
I mean, it really is. Yeah. And which is also why, you know, I'm not that you were, but like, I don't want to ever minimize the Epstein stuff again, first, because, you know, hundreds of children were raped by the most powerful people in the world. But why? For whom? Like, who does that benefit? What's happening because of that? Because there's a reason that was happening. And
why would that be hidden from us? Where it exposes the whole power structure of our political sphere.
Yeah. All right. Last bit on Ukraine and Zelensky, who did dress up a little bit for his visit to the White House. This is a little glimpse into his conversation with Donald J. Trump.
Open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances, and a little bit we need to work in the parliament, because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, maybe how to say, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, in the battlefield, in the sky, in the sea, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say during the war you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake.
You like this idea?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of
painful.
I mean, first of all, the gold-plated everything, I'm like vomiting into my mouth, right? Like it's disgusting. But yeah, this talk about we're saving democracy and, you know, Ukraine's democracy, no elections, banned opposition parties, banned the Russian language. Like, I mean,
yeah, Trump would love this guy if it wasn't against his other buddy, Putin.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Who he looked up to for his authoritarianism, because Zelensky, before this war happened, was about to get ousted from his power as president because he was corrupt as all fuck. All his money was offshore, revealed by the Pandora papers.
Yeah,
like he was it Pandora?
Yeah,
right?
no, you're right. It was Pandora, I think, because the Panama Papers was something else. That was Hillary.
Yeah. So, but his country hated him before the war. Like they turned on him so far. He had like 30% approval rating or something in this country before the war happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all just a big joke. The democracy. Justin, thank you. Love you, Lila. Like you, Fat. JK, love the Fat for Sweet.
I like you a little too. Love you, Lila. So we're
love you. I'm right. You're right. We're all right. Let's spin.
We're both right.
Let's spin.
Justin's even right.
Justin's right. All right. What do we got? right. I like
The
it.
music changes every time, and it kind of feels like a Russian nightclub or something, or Italian nightclub. Like, hey.
Right.
What do we land on? Puppets.
Yes.
Puppets. Let's go with slow-mo cats.
Oh my God. Wait. That was awesome. I love those. I miss our kitties. They have really fun energy.
I will be sure to send you some kittens.
Okay, thanks. All right, let's move on to the party of opposition, which is in crisis, friends. Coming as no shock to anybody, except for apparently the leaders of the Democratic Party. By percentage, Democrats went from nearly an 11-point edge over GOP in 2020 to just over a 6-point edge in 2024. Along the way, some states have flipped to GOP registration edge entirely. Florida, of course, but more big ones are likely coming. Let's see. States plus DC allow for many states plus DC allow for partisan registration. Between 2020 and 2024, Democrats lost 2.1 million voters in those states. The GOP gained 2.4 million. There are few better measurements of measurements of a party's brand than who actively chooses to identify and register with it, and fewer voters are choosing to become Democrats. Check out this graphic of the trend line for new registrants since 2018, where you see that the share of voters registering as Democrats has declined and Republicans have increased. And many voters are choosing to be political independents by not registering with either major party. But of the people who do choose between the two main parties, the Democratic share has been cratering, according to the analysis. In 2018, Democrats accounted for 63% of voters who newly registered as either Democratic or Republican. By 2024, the party's share had shrunk to less than 48%.
Yeah.
Break out those memes. Those anti-dark woke memes, baby.
I mean, to be in this political moment where fascism is on our doorstep in every state, federal authority is getting exerted to. Sorry, this is strike here. I mean, you can't have an easier moment to take over because nothing happening now is popular. And you're so in the shitter. You're so unpopular. You're so seen as cowards. You're so seen as complicit. You have no resistance to it. All the world sees is you resist anyone who supports actual leftist views in your own party.
Yep.
But you should be up. You should have taken that 11% support and turned it into 25% at least, and you lost 6%.
I mean, I feel like, we're just broken records because we all know what they need to do. We all know what's popular. They know more than we do what's popular, and they will do everything to fight against that, including, the answer to their prayers is the young, photogenic, telegenic, whip smart, well-spoken, Democratic nominee for the biggest city in the country to be their mayor, who brought out immigrants, who brought out Trump voters, who brought out men, like more voters than in any Democratic primary in history. And they are not interested in that because they would lose their donors. So,
Oh, I thought you were describing Gavin Newsom.
Oh, he is. God,
no, how do you take this super popular guy, an enigma, your whole, the last thing Democrats are hanging on to is they had Obama, who centrists still look as like the Obama years, like great. And so you got this guy who's coming out and he seems like a groundswelling of support and coming out of nowhere to shock the political world. Here's this hero. And all that anybody sees is you're fighting him.
It's insane. Like, even to have former Republican Tim Miller talk to House Leader Jeffries, like, what's the fucking problem? Why aren't you endorsing Mamdani? Like, it's ridiculous. Not only that, but there was just a leaked oh, that was such a weird noise. Like, God, a leaked comment or leaked comments from Cuomo at another fancy Hamptons fundraiser, where he talks about he's counting on Trump helping him in the general election. Andrew was counting on President Donald Trump and top Republicans to tell the party faithful to vote for Cuomo for mayor if they want to stop Zohran Mamdani, and not to vote for GOP nominee Curtis Sliwa. We can minimize a Sliwa vote because he will never be a serious candidate, Cuomo told the crowd at a Hamptons fundraiser Saturday, according to audio obtained by Playbook. And Trump himself, as well as top Republicans, will say the goal is to stop Mamdani, and you'll be wasting your vote on Sliwa, so I feel good about that. I mean, like, that's Democrat, like that's blue MAGA. I mean, that's just what it all is. And during, like, when we first started this show and COVID was, still something that people talked about a lot, and they would show Cuomo as the great alternative to Trump. He was just doing Trump. I mean, everything about him is, lacks total integrity. He's only out for himself. His father, I'm sure, is rolling in his grave, Mario Cuomo. And he's just a disgusting, sexual, harassing, COVID killing, corrupt Republican.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Well, look, Cuomo's an old school Democrat, right? And nobody is more out of touch with the political landscape and environment than old school Democrats. But the problem is these guys don't realize how bad it hurts their brand nationally when they don't realize a couple things. They don't realize that, okay, this local race is a national race. It's an idea. It's a race of ideas nationally, right? So, I mean, they realize it, but they try to push against it, but they don't realize they can't really win the PR war against it. Like, it's not working because everyone agrees with this guy. Like, but then the pundit class, they're paid to sell these ideas of centrism and trickle down economics and things that you think are Republican and abundance theory. So they're out of touch, thinking like we can overcome this, and they just can't. And this local race, like, we're out of touch nationally because all the spin about this that we're hearing, like, if you live in New York, you know more about him than I do.
Right.
And I'm covering the shit out of them. Like,
right.
I both are. But if you live there, you know this stuff. So, like, you're not fazed by Cuomo bringing in the Republican Party. Like, that's going to win you over somehow. Right. You're going to stop it. It's just baffling. It's a terrible strategy. Mondami is going to win this race. It's over. I'm telling you, it's over.
Well, not if Cuomo can help it, because he hired this guy, the meme guy. And if you've ever seen memes before, you know that this meme is spectacularly boring and boomer. But anyway, this kid, Jason Levin, I got referred to the team last week. So I made this meme in 2 minutes and sent it over. Cuomo's team posted it, and we hit 5 million plus viewers in under 24 hours. Boom. Meme Lord shakes hands with Mayor, writes, hear me out. And then like, that's what he sent over to them on the left. And then Cuomo retweets it or puts it out there with hear me out. Like, he can't even have his own words. It's ridiculous. Hear me out. But then it's discovered that the meme guy voted for Trump, number one. Also, he's, ice is cooking. This is his personal account. Donald Trump has announced the purge will begin, led by Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Doge. No government bureaucrat is safe. The purge election year. I'm a proud Jew who voted for Hitler. Anyway, they are now pretending, in spite of the fact that there were pictures of Cuomo with his arm around this guy, that the campaign had nothing to do with him, and they are severing any possible ties that never existed in the first place. But that was going to be the big solution, was some cool memes.
Yeah, that's why they look. The only one that can stop Mamdani, say his name. I need to hear that audio. Every time I mispronounce his name, yeah. You should have that audio ready to go.
Right.
I will always mispronounce his name, yeah. but he's the only one who can stop himself. He can stop himself by meeting with Obama, by meeting with billionaires. He can fuck it up that way by making he can suppress his own base somehow. Like that's it. Because they hate it's.
Yeah.
If you're talking about election, it is. I hate the other guy. It's going to be peak in New York. They hate the other guy. It's Cuomo. They hate him. They hate Adams.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, and it's so shallow. And of course, it's what all of the corporate advisors and the whatever the people who the consultant class thrive on this. You got to get out those good videos like Mamdani. You got to get out the cool memes. You got to, and that is just not what it's about, as evidenced by the guy in Minneapolis who is primarying the mayor of Minneapolis and just won in the primary. Fatah Oda, I think is his name. We showed the video, and he seems like a lovely person. I think on paper you might not say he's got the same sort of physical attributes as Mamdani. He doesn't have the same kind of spark. Like Mamdani has a special presence. Fatah doesn't have, or I'm sorry, because I don't remember if his last name is Fatah or Oda. But anyway, he talks about the economy. He talks about those kitchen table issues. He is a democratic socialist, and he won. But he's not slick. He doesn't he doesn't have the nip slip halal cart rap videos from 20 years ago. He's not that. And he still is popular because of policy. Yeah.
And that's the point. And I think that's where we all benefit from this, no matter what happens, is because if we show that the ideas can win, period, that really, I'm not saying that's how we take over the Democratic Party, because we're not going to take over the Democratic Party. But if we can show the ideas win, it helps our ideas more, because then you can point out to look, and these ideas are not supported by either party. And this is why we need to do something outside of the parties, support the guys within the party who support these ideas. Great. Yep. But the party is stopping our ideas from flourishing within the Democratic Party, which it has done for 20 years.
Yep.
30 years, 40 years, probably. But
yep. Yeah. So speaking of Newsom, we showed quite a few of his posts on Sunday. And if you can handle it, we'll just show a couple more, because it is, I think, truly revolting. And now it's not just like slick AI stupid, like gotcha, sick burn kind of memes. It's really trending towards this sort of like anti-woke, all the stuff that I hate, like the Jimmy Dore kind of, what George Galloway did, anti-woke, anti-COVID, anti-climate, or whatever that bullshit is. So he's got this with this guy. Sorry, the readers are coming back on. Tom McDonald. It's this whole, it's, horrible, ridiculous rap song against Newsom and the Democratic Party. And the sick burn is, bro, we get it, but he's not interested. Stick to Grindr, which is, a gay hookup app, right? So like that feels like second grade in the 80s or 70s or whatever.
It's selling out his own people, and he's from New York. He's from San Francisco. Newsom, San Francisco, gay capital of California, or whatever. Known as the. So, what does he stand for? He's going against. This is the guy who had a podcast where he tried to bring on Charlie Kirk. We talked about all this stuff, but he's going with this anti-woke vibe that is like anti the reason you had support in the first place. You fucking idiot.
100%. Here's another one where he retweets this white supremacist, racist, young Putin guy, Gavin Newsom versus JD Vance in high school, because now there's like a whole split in the MAGA crowd. And anyway, they're enjoying owning JD Vance, but the enemy of your enemy does not have to be your friend, Newsom. Like, I would never retweet one of these, I think his thing is like intellectual wigger or something is his other handle. Like, you got to be a little careful about that before you start moving into truly despicable territory, which it's too late for him anyway, because as you said, his first guest on his podcast, which, how popular is that? Is that doing really well? That was his first foray. The thing to do is go on podcast, where he's like,
I think it's dead, right? It's got to be dead.
Like sucking the balls of Charlie Kirk, who's also like a disgusting right-wing fascist. Then on this one, this is a Scott Pressler guy who basically, he's a Republican and is trying to get Republicans to come out and register and mobilize. And Newsom's response is, thank you, Nancy Mace. So making fun of,
you look like a woman.
Yeah. And then when Tommy Aaron, who has some nerve, but anyway, to point out that Newsom is being, truly just despicable and sort of homophobic or whatever this whole thing is, where he calls Pressler Nancy Grace or Nancy Mace. So she says, new lows unlocked by Gavin Newsom and his team of losers. And Newsom's response, you sound woke. So that's
this whole thing. It's terrible on its own, but it's also terribly telling that the blue MAGA is all in on this is our hero. They like the AI memes they're generating to support him are just beyond the pale. Like, but I really don't think most of it's authentic. I think it's PR. It's his own PR team generating the whole buzz behind him that like, you're our superhero. Yeah. You're our Superman.
Yeah.
Gavin.
I think so too.
I don't think it's authentic at all.
I don't think it's authentic. The latest, and I forgot to pull this, but the latest polls on 2028 presidential, Kamala somehow was top. And then was Newsom. And then it might've been like 10 points lower. It was like 23 points was Kamala, then 13. Yeah, was it might have been Newsom was 13 and then Pete was 11 or something. AOC was like at 1 or 2. I'll find it the next time we show a video. Anyway, 27% of Americans.
Look, Newsom's brand might work in California on some level, but like in California, they tried to recall him, of course. I mean, he's not popular in California.
Right.
He does PR stunts where he's out clearing homeless camps.
Yeah.
So that alone like breaks the facade of you're not really this progressive. He upped his progressive cred by sort of half-ass backing Bernie, and that got him a ways. But that
I didn't remember that.
That shield has fallen off of him.
I didn't even remember him doing that. He did it so quietly that I don't even remember him doing that.
No, he backed Medicare for all. He was on Bill Maher saying good things about like Bernie's ideas, and it was all a sellout bullshit.
Yeah,
it was just prepping himself to get some Bernie support, which he brilliantly did as a politician. He did brilliantly leech off the Bernie crowd, and a lot of normie Dems thought like, well, this is sort of a progressive. This is the progressive that can win. They thought for a while, but then that facade has fallen off him entirely. Like I don't think anybody. But my point is, expand him nationally beyond California, and he comes across in California as a slick New Yorker. So even in California, it's like I don't know anybody that likes Newsom. Like never met a person.
He is disgusting and doesn't stand for anything. And filmed himself after saying that we're going to criminalize homelessness, doing homeless sweeps, encampment sweeps. Like we should feel excited about him destroying the few remnants that a person who's already been completely disenfranchised might have been able to hang on to.
And I think what that fact points out is that even in California, the people running the politics, the donor class, the circle of friends in power, like they're the same people. Like it doesn't, Democrat or not, he is having dinner with the same people that Republicans are having dinner with.
Yep.
And it's all just like he has no counter to his own beliefs that like, he just thinks the poll is like, oh, Californians want homeless people gone.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's no
donors are telling him
I mean, there's no policy. Like I don't hear him talk about any policy except for Democrats really screwed it up with 2024. And we got to appeal to the manosphere and not be so woke.
Yeah. We got to appeal to the manosphere. We should have been tougher on the border. We've kind of fucked up because we weren't tough on the border. Crime. Yeah. It's the Mexicans. It's the border. It's drugs. It's fentanyl. It's the border.
Yeah. Okay. There's one more before we spin and move on, just because, I don't know enough about this person, but this isn't just a meme. It's talking policy. And I appreciate that whenever anybody does. So this is the guy who is running in Maine to upset Susan Collins. His name is Graham Plattner.
What I love most about Maine are the people. I have never met people who are more hard scrabble, even in a place that requires you to work like 2 or 3 different jobs. We have watched this state become essentially unlivable for working class people, and it makes me deeply angry. My name is Graham Plattner, and I'm running for U.S. Senate in Maine to defeat Susan Collins. A decade of military service going overseas, farming oysters to feed my community, diving to lend a hand to other fishermen, trying to start a family. But everywhere I've gone, it seems like the fabric of what holds us together is being ripped apart by billionaires and corrupt politicians, profiting off of destroying our environment, driving our families into poverty, and crushing the middle class. I did 4 infantry tours in the Marine Corps and the Army. I'm not afraid to name an enemy, and the enemy is the oligarchy. It's the billionaires who pay for it, and the politicians who sell us out. And yeah, that means politicians like Susan Collins. I'm not fooled by this fake charade of Collins' deliberations and moderation. The difference between Susan Collins and Ted Cruz is at least Ted Cruz is honest about selling us out and not giving a damn. People know that the system is screwing them. They know it in their bones. Nobody I know around here can afford a house. Healthcare is a disaster. Hospitals are closing. We have watched all of that get ripped away from us, and everyone's just trying to keep it all together. Why can't we have universal health care like every other first world country? Why can't we take care of our veterans when they come home? Why are we funding endless wars and bombing children? Why are CEOs more powerful than unions? We fought 3 different wars since the last time we raised the minimum wage. I'm not pretending to have all the answers, but I know that I'm asking the right questions. When I tell people around here that I'm running for Senate, sometimes the initial reaction is, what the f***, but But when I tell them why I'm doing it, because I truly do believe that we can build a system that is going to represent working people, the number one response has been, well, thank God somebody's going to do it. You're supposed to fight for the things you love. This is our home, and I will fight tirelessly for it, for you. It's Mainers first, in Maine, always.
Okay, so obviously I don't love all the war stuff, and the Mainers first also feels a little bit like a nod to, you know, the Republicans, but he's talking about Medicare for all, strengthening unions, you know, minimum wage, ending wars, like that. Gavin Newsom could be doing that. Cuomo could be doing that, and they're not, right? So like that is a choice. Naming your enemy. Yeah, billionaires should not exist. Every billionaire is a policy failure. They thrive on our destruction. Like, so all of that, I appreciate that, but who knows? Yeah.
I get 100%. I totally agree with you. And to have the courage in Maine to run this campaign, and for California Democrats to not have the balls to run this campaign,
right?
Like, that's the part that really shines to me. And he correctly and flat out calls Susan Collins corrupt, and says the difference between Susan Collins and Texas
Ted Cruz,
Ted Cruz is that, you know, Ted Cruz, he respects him more because he says what a villain he is, or whatever, however you phrased it. But that's what you need to do. You got to call him out. And, you know, what he said didn't ring like I love Democrats, and he didn't. None of his message was like we need to get more Democrats in power to vote us out of this. Because that politically, even if you believe that, or you're a tried and true Democrat, that's a losing message. People know that that's not the answer. So he's not running on that because he knows how unpopular Democrats are.
Yeah. So, you know, again, this is not obviously an endorsement, but it is, as a comparison, I think really instructive to see what Gavin Newsom could be doing, what Cuomo could be doing, by the way, when's the last time AOC mentioned Medicare for all? Like what, you know, like, so I do appreciate that. All right.
The kettlebell, I don't know. Get rid of the kettlebell.
I know.
Although my brother does kettlebell workouts in his garage. So maybe the appeal is to sort of.
I sometimes do kettlebell workouts, but I would not put it on my campaign ad.
Just kidding. All right.
Strong, tough. Okay. Are you doing the listen?
I'm doing the bleeding out of my leg. Thank you, Strike. Thank you.
We got an on point Lyra and a fair point Pat. So I'm gonna say we're tied.
Fair.
All right. Are we spinning?
We are spinning the wheel.
Let's see it.
Let's see what kind of joy the world wants to give us. Right.
Okay. Calling the biggest audible ever to refill my glass, toke up, whatever, take a hit, whatever people say these days. Because we just the wheel gods have not been with the self-medication.
All right. Where do we go? Oh. Musical something. I forget. It's been a while. Oh, musical eyebrows.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine.
We're going to get dinged.
You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my heart, I like your style. Ooh, you make me wanna try. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time.
That was fun though. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to or back
Fair
to
use banner. Sorry.
What'd you say? Oh, fair use.
I should have put the fair use up, but here we go.
There we go.
Just in time.
Although, you know, when we when we showed, I think it was our 4-year anniversary back in June, and right away we got the copyright and it was taken down. We showed all of those clips. I think that was when we showed all the clips from the music festival in Glastonbury. And we argued against taking down. We argued we were fair use, that we are a political commentary show, and it was just reinstated 2 months later. So you never know.
Yeah,
okay,
but that's where they win on all this stuff, because you have to file these appeals. So you have to waste your time on it and get it back. And like, okay, 3 months later, our video is up. So who's gonna watch it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not newsy anymore. Not exactly newsworthy.
Why don't you prove your case before the video gets taken down? This is what I'm saying. You know,
I would like that. Yeah.
Here.
That would be a little more fair. All right. So we have gotten to the point where we really truly are like an Israel first country at this point. We talked a little bit about this case that just went through federal courts, where a U.S. judge equates the Israeli flag with Jewish identity, which means that if the Star of David is attacking the Star of David is now considered a racial discrimination case, not political protest. So that is really going to make things even more difficult when it comes to criticizing a foreign country's policies, which is insane. How are you doing there? You okay?
Probably bleeding, but that's all right. But look, how is it an actual crime now to burn an Israeli flag but not a U.S. flag? Like, how is another country's flag more sacred than our own? I mean, fuck our flag. You should burn our flag like crazy. But if you can burn our flag, that means you should burn any flag. You should be able to. That's a free speech right. It's not a hate crime. It is not anti a religion if you burn a flag. Like, and even if it was, like, that's
don't be an ethno state. I mean, you can't have it every which way, right?
Like, free speech means you are able to do things that people don't like.
Like, what are we even protecting in this country? What do we stand for? I mean, the First Amendment, the power to protest, the free speech, the ability to have a free and independent press, they've all been torn away, really. And so much of what's happened in these last 2 years have been in the name of Judaism, right? Oh, the genocide in the name of Judaism, the decimation of our institutions in the name of protecting Jews, which is bullshit, which is only going to lead to anti-Semitism and the destruction of everything that the U.S. is supposed to stand for. Not that we've been perfect on it in any regard, but there at least was like a pretense that this is what we stand for. But when you take away the right to protest, the right to free speech, a free press, what makes us different from many other despotic countries?
I think in part that's where the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff comes in, is like the MAGA folks are like, we're not Israel first, right? You know, ultimately, I think a lot of that is registering with them.
Yeah.
They're not, they don't support, they don't support this war, but for different reasons, less empathy than the left probably has in general, not everybody.
Yeah. I mean, they're not, they are
but
typically
just economically, they were sold on the anti-war campaign about America first, meaning not we're the baddest country on earth. We're going to build up our bases around the world. We're going to put twice the money into the military. Like, wasn't that? It was like, hey, let's focus on our own economy and lower the price of bread, and let's build things here and that kind of shit. And seeing the clear Israel first shit really rubs the MAGA movement wrong. And that's where MTG politically, she may not be smart intellectually, but politically, she's got her finger on the pulse of the MAGA movement to ride them without rubbing the president wrong, because he knows she has power with the movement, and she's rocking that, but keep rocking it, but
no, I mean, I agree 100%. you know, especially now when we've got Netanyahu very clearly saying that he is very connected to the vision of a greater Israel, a plan for Israel's conquest of the Middle East that envisions the apartheid state expanding into occupied Palestinian territories, as well as parts of Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon. And we've got our media, sorry, I'm trying to move things along here. Our media, you know, doing God's work for him by, instead of calling this what it is, which is, you know, ethnic cleansing and takeover and, you know, military surges, occupations, they are saying this is Israel rejects international criticism of Gaza City takeover plan. That's from the BBC News. AP, Israel's plan to take over, like it's just some nice thing. Like, thanks so much for taking over Gaza City, stirs fears for civilians and hostages, which still is putting it, because the civilians they're talking about, of course, are Israeli civilians. I'm sure they're not concerned at all about Palestinian civilians or Palestinian hostages. CNN world leaders criticize Israel's plan to take over Gaza City. It's so gentle and kind. Israel's security cabinet approves plan to take control of Gaza City, from Reuters. If you're not already following, I'm sure most of you are, but Asal Raj, she's great. She has a lot of media criticism in the way that they treat Israel and versus Palestinians. But, you know, this is in the face of, we showed this on Sunday, but like, this is the life expectancy of people in Gaza. It has fallen off a cliff. They are comparing it to other war-ravaged places, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. And the almost vertical straight line that plummets downwards, that's blue, is the Gaza life expectancy. I mean, it's, you know, that's horrifying. We've got, what's her?
Well, but just, I mean, let's rewind it for a second to all the rhetoric used to say it was not a genocide, because why would so many people be born? Why would, you know, they said all this nonsense. And no, like, is CNN countering this? Are they like any of these news media, you know, groups that want to say they want to sort of both sides it now a little bit, because they know the tide's turning in the public and they're on the wrong side of this. If they really want to shift things, bring this up, talk about this right here. This is the thing. Like, how can you say you're the most moral army on earth and it's not a genocide when the life expectancy now is under 35 for someone living in Gaza? Under 35. Like, you can't remember what you said back in the day. You said that you weren't bombing hospitals. You weren't bombing. It was just crazy that you would target a hospital. It's crazy that you would target, you know, news media. We got hundreds of media dead. There's no hospitals left. You got the last doctor in Gaza is fucking starving. You killed every hour. A child dies in Gaza every single fucking hour for the last 2 years. Somebody died there. And now the life expectancy is under 35. So defend that. And defend it without like saying, well, if Hamas would leave the hostages, you're talking about 30 or 40 hostages left that are alive. And you're going to justify still killing
hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, that hundreds.
And the new plan is to just sweep Gaza. Like, I mean, and we're just watching it happen every fucking day. Like, and they're telling us the plan.
Yeah. Still doing this Holocaust denial where they're issuing apologies like this. This is Barry Weiss's new outfit, the Free Press. They became symbols for Gazan starvation, but all 12 suffer from other health problems. You know, first of all, most of those health problems were brought on by the siege that they've had to live under with Israel's occupation, even before October 2023, right? So many of these underlying health conditions are brought about by mowing the lawn and amputations and being put on a diet and having your water and electricity rationed by Israel, by not being able to have your crops be completely decimated, your sheep having no food, all the bakeries were bombed. Like, that is going to lead to many underlying conditions. But also, this is a tactic that we have called out about people who have always denied the Holocaust, the Holocaust of the 1940s, well, was that really 6 million Jews? But Anne Frank didn't die by the Nazis. She died of typhus. Oh, look at this, when they did their little Potemkin village display and they showed some of the Jewish children that were sort of chubby, right? Or not chubby, but like looked well fed, as opposed to everybody that they hid because they were starving them, but that's what they presented to the masses who didn't want to believe that Germans were, mass executing Jews. They're doing the same thing now, while the people in Israel who are leading that country are right out in the open, as you just said, talking about how for every Israeli that was killed, they need to kill at least 50 Palestinians. Oh no, they need to kill every child. They all deserve to die because they're just going to grow up to be Hamas. They are advertising it to the world, their genocide.
And it's not even like, 30s Germany. Like you don't know when history judges this, they don't have to research it. Like I could be writing the history of this right now and prove the case that from the jump, listen to what they said. This was the plan. This was the plan that was reported on them that the media ignored. And this is what happened. They did the thing. They did the plan. Here's the next evil plan we reported on. They did that evil plan and so on and so on and so on. And it just keeps continuing. Like for the media to still pretend any of this is complicated is absurd. They're complicit. If they pretend there's two sides of the story, they're complicit.
100%. I mean, 100%, they've been complicit for decades, but especially now, there's no excuse. And it's also why so many people, they were already cratering in their ratings and their viewership, but it is so clear now as we're all watching what's happening there in a real time being streamed to our phones. And then to see our media say, oh, well, it turned out an apology basically from the New York Times for finally doing a story on some of the atrocities being carried out by Israel, and then getting so much pushback from Israel that they issue an addendum to say, well, we didn't realize that the starving baby had an underlying condition. Well, so does that make it okay for that baby to be starved? What are you talking about? It is truly sick. The, Greenblatt was on, what is he on here? Oh, this was another segment. Say again.
Oh, he made all the rounds.
Oh my God. Yeah. He cannot get enough of his genocidal rhetoric. This is more of his interview with Lula Garcia Navarro from the New York Times talking about genocide. This is, to say these words out loud, I find it really stunning. But
Greenblatt, in case people, everybody knows probably, but he's in charge of the ADL. He's the
head of the ADL. Yep.
Head of the ADL.
These questions on the words that one uses are at the heart of what I hear many people asking about this war, including Jews, which is, how can they support Zionism if this is the current manifestation of Zionism?
Well, look, it's like, how can you support Islam if Ayatollah Khomeini is the progenitor of it? How can you support Christianity if the Crusades happened? How can you support America if you disagree with President Trump's policies, or even in the face of larger scale disasters like slavery? So again, Zionism is the right of a people to self-determination. You can be upset with the policies of a government, but again, if you didn't say in the wake of enslavement of Africans, America should be destroyed, if you didn't say in the wake of the Crusades, Christianity has no legitimacy, if you don't say in the wake of the oppression of women for centuries, Islam has no right, then why would you feel differently about this? Again,
I'm only trying to I'm trying to characterize, I think.
We get to do our genocide too. It's not fair. The fuck?
That logic is such bullshit. It just falls apart. It's like,
it's truly sick because the ideology of Zionism is not just self-determination. It is Jewish supremacy, which the natural result of that ideology will lead always to apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, which is different from the horrors that our own country perpetrated with slavery and civil rights, and I mean, on and on as we continue now.
Where it all comes full circle is we're now looking at white cities being built in America.
Yep.
Right? What's, how about we have a Christian state, an all Christian state? Can we go back to that? We're rolling things back to,
this is why so many white supremacists love Zionism.
We don't look at the world through like my religion and my people and my race are superior. And that's what Zionism is. Like, it just flat out is. You can't say we need to be in charge of our own country. Like the world is too small for that. Yeah. Like, we can't have, it's not like an apartment. Like, oh, my apartment's just going to be for white people. Okay, great. But like, you're going to run a country where all these people already lived that you took over, and you're going to infuse power on them for being there.
And call it a democracy, which could only exist with Jewish rule if you ethnically cleanse many of the Palestinians or prevent them from having equal rights. Yeah. So, yeah.
But they are building these things. Like these are happening now real time. There are cities that are popping up, fully testing this challenge to the rights of our what it means to be American, of like multiculturalism. They're challenging that right now with white cities.
Yeah.
Christian white cities.
Which again is why
mixed too. This is where it's all intersectional. Tech bros are going to be
the heads of those,
setting up tech cities that are outside of the rules. This is the whole DC thing. This is why DC is the big test. He's exerting his authority in DC, where they can then, because it's not a state, they can exert presidential rights and powers over it.
Yeah. They are getting a little bit more pushback though. This was Channel 4, Matt Fry, I think his name is, correcting the lies as they are occurring.
One side that is saying yes to a proposal, and the other side is keep saying no, or spreading this smoke screen. What other option do you have?
There was also a deal on the table at the beginning of the year. That seemed to work quite well.
No.
And then they went along with the deal, and then you broke the ceasefire. Israel broke the ceasefire.
We did not break the ceasefire.
Again, in the interest of time, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Let's not go there. We haven't got enough time for this. You broke the ceasefire. The ceasefire's been broken. You then, introduced the policy of starvation on Gaza, and we know how that ended as well. And that is getting slightly better, but it's still not good enough.
Let me answer this. First, we did not break the ceasefire. Hamas did. Second, there is no starvation policy in Gaza. Right. Full stop. Full stop.
Meanwhile, you have Smotrich out there, like proudly talking about how we're just going to decimate all of Gaza.
And that's where it's really disgusting in that, like, anyone in the media pretending this isn't all happening to plan, when the plan is right in front of you. They're currently telling you the next plan. The next plan is to sweep Gaza. The next plan is to decimate the population. The next plan is to flatten every ounce of Palestinian civilization. But this guy handled it how you should. In the interest of time, you're a liar. Let's move to the next topic. Oh, you're lying on that as well. We're not going to talk about that. Like, that's how they should be all addressed in the media. Like, you have no time for your bullshit that's debunked. Like, we're not here to debate the thing that we know is not true.
Yeah. Yes. I just, again, wish it had come, 22 months and 76 years earlier. Cheers, Flashkenberger. Thank you so much for your super chat.
Thank you.
Even what'd you say? Oh, and reflect this. Yep, sorry, we both see it at the same time. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Splash as well.
Yeah, it's always been the plan, and they have announced it. Oops, are we both just pushing buttons? Has that happened, or did I do that?
That's what we do.
We both push buttons. Sorry, I'm gonna just
I can fix it.
Okay. So even CNN finally is just, because I think at this point I actually do think that some of these networks are concerned that the world is against them, and the European Union has more at stake in adhering to international policy, even though they've been horrible on all of this, but they don't have the power that the US has. And clearly the US is not always looking out for their best interests, or will leap to protect them from these, from the blowback that they will get for being complicit in this genocide. So as it is becoming more and more clear that there's just no denying this genocide, even on CNN, we see them finally giving glimmers of truth.
So this came out just a couple of days ago. It was leaked audio recordings from Israel's Channel 12 News. This is Major General Aharon Haliva, who is the former head of Israeli military intelligence. In part of these lengthy leaked audio recordings, he says here, and I'm quoting from the hostages, from the recordings, the fact that there are already 50,000 dead in Gaza is necessary and required for future generations. He says, and I'm quoting again here, for everything that happened on October 7th, for every one person on October 7th, 50 Palestinians must die. It doesn't matter now if they are children.
Sorry, first of all, unbelievable. I think as I'm replaying it, I said 50 must die. 50,000 must die. 50,000 must die for every person. That is the value they put on a Palestinian life. Jesus. You guys, the pushing buttons. Yes, that is.
Well, I think you're right. I think they're pivoting to have, what they're doing now is when they have a pundit, when they have a table of people, like on their weekend shows, they have at least two leftist views on, right?
Yeah.
And they may be outnumbered, and they may control the narrative to give the people who disagree with Palestine more weight. But they recognize, like, you can't stack 5 people against one leftist like they used to do with Nina Turner.
Yeah.
That doesn't fly anymore, because too many people are on Nina Turner's side, and they're like, well, this is bullshit,
Yeah.
So, like, I forget her name, but Kate, leftist, who's running herself.
Oh, yeah. Is she from California? Maybe she was an influencer or like an Instagram girl or something.
Yeah. So she's on all the time. She's sort of their new Nina Turner.
Yeah.
But she's, I don't know too much about her personally, but her politics are very left, and she represents the left pretty well on CNN.
Right.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But they usually have her and somebody else, and then Scott Palmer, or the shitty MAGA, Kate Abziguelia. That's why I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the bad guy, the far right one who was talking about, like, Scott Penner or something. Is that his name?
Yeah, he always gets the last word.
Cheers.
And they always make him seem Scott Jennings. Thank you, Scott Jennings. They always make him, I mean, he's terrible, but like CNN always sort of scolds him and then follows up what he has to say with a Republican who then softens it with political speak around it. Right. Like, they have a formula still to negate the leftist views.
Yeah.
But they know they have to let the leftists speak.
Yeah.
So that's like a pivot in itself.
Yeah. Too little, too late. And it's out of fear for the repercussions, but at least,
it's the ratings, though. It is the ratings.
M Sparks, thank you. Cheers to you. Thank you. Abu Ghazala. Thank you, Zainab. Abu Ghazala. Yeah, I know. I think I'm seeing the signs that she's, yeah. All right. where do you want to go with where we're kind of closing out here at 7? We have a few more videos.
Let's do a wheel and come back. Wheel and come back.
Okay.
Wheel and come back. Let's go. The mystery joy wheel's got something for us. Let's see what it is.
I wish you could stick with that song. All right, inject that shit. I like the inject that shit. Which one are we going to show though?
He does kind of look like Dr. Evil.
Ron
Stephen Miller, loner, high school balding psychopath, immigrant hate monger, devout white supremacist. Somehow found a pity girlfriend who was Mexican. He'd scold her to speak English, she refused to hold his hand. Eventually he got ghosted, broke what he had left of a heart, and now he's built his whole life on tearing families apart. His neurologist uncle said he showed early signs of insanity, but his parents just embraced it. Now he's top advisor to the president, and in a distant land called Florida was Katie, his female counterpart. An old classmate described her as the only thing that she loves or values in this world is power. Anyone she attaches to in her life is simply a pawn to feed her addiction to it. Cool. And by the grace of Satan, these two gems married each other. Now they run the government from the shadows through the mouth of an orange puppet. Maybe you know Stephen's first project, 2025, or maybe you know his latest work, the Nazification of ICE. Katie ran off with Elon Musk, but Stephen didn't even notice, 'cause he only gets off now watching other people suffering. I heard he even smiled for the first time seeing the terror in LA this week. All of this and more, 'cause he won't take meds or go to therapy. Bravo, Stephen. Bravo.
That's awesome. I love that. As long as we're just in that mode, just like a couple little snippets that. So this was the BBC interviewing a student who'd just taken his A-levels in London.
So on that note, I just want to say free Palestine and the genocide, and the BBC is complicit.
All right, we're here to talk about A-level results. All right, thank you for your thoughts. We're here to talk about A-level results today. Gaza, a whole different subject. Just tell us.
Just get it in there any chance you get.
No.
I love it. This is some people just tooling around in LA. This is where I get nervous because some of the choice of words, I'm like, what are we going down? Like anyway, let's just watch a little bit of it. But IDF soldiers are not welcome to be tourists in other people's lands.
Question for my TikTok, buddy. No, buddy. We need a quick question, buddy. What's your stance on Israel, buddy? What's your stance on Israel?
Israel is the best country.
Fuck Israel.
No.
Fuck everything about Israel, buddy. Free Palestine, buddy. Look how I smelled you. I smelled a rat. I smelled IDF Israelis. You could smell them. They smell like shit. They smell like baby killers. Look at them. Look at the baby killers. With these baby killers. You touch my phone, I'm gonna hit you, bro. You touch my phone, I'm gonna hit you. Any sense in my body, buddy. Hey, I'm not your friend, you Zionist bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking Zionist. Let's fight, buddy. You want to fight or what? You want to fight or what? I fucking can't stand Israelis. See how I smelled your ass, bro? From far away. I smelled you, bro. I smelled you. You smell like a baby killer, you especially. No. You smell like a baby killer, Israeli. Where were you born, buddy? Fuck you. Peace killing babies? No. What's the peace, buddy? What's the peace? Where's the peace, buddy? Yeah, get out of here. Get out of Los Angeles. Israelis are not welcome here. Get out of here. Get out of Hollywood. You're not welcome here. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So that's where I think things are heading. And as some people are saying in the chat, and I agree, like that it starts making me uncomfortable. It does start making me uncomfortable. Yeah. but of course that's where it's going to go. I mean, that's what's going to happen. You can't commit a genocide. If they were German Nazis, SS soldiers, nobody would have a problem with saying fucking Germans, right?
And I think that's where the line is, though. Like, you can't, don't bring, if you're right, you don't need to bring in anti-Semitism like rats and like, stay away from that shit. You know, like when I hear the rat thing, it just really rubs me wrong. Like,
I
don't
agree.
like, this is you trying to, like, this is a powerful, you were not powerful before, and now here's a bad guy and you're being powerful to them. So I don't like that. Like, just don't do that. Like, I don't know.
I know. I really, and I'm noticing it so much on Twitter, and it's the same. It's kind of like the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing, where they start off saying something that I can sort of agree with, which, you know, baby killers, genocide, and then it starts veering towards anti-Semitism, and that is really uncomfortable. And, you know, for the most part, I mean, the problem is that you can't be a state that calls itself the Jewish state and say that if you're anti-Zionist, you're anti-Semitic, and make it all conflated, and then get upset when people conflate the two. But it's deeply upsetting, because I do think, I mean, again, I know there are many worse issues happening that we need to focus on, but I do think that this is also going to lead into a really scary place.
Yeah, all this enables the worst racists on the right to say, look, aha, we've been right, you know, which they're not right.
Yep.
I mean, you're right that Zionism is awful, but like, you're not right that a whole race of people or you know, people who live in a certain country are necessarily wrong for just existing.
Yep.
So I don't like when people are like too harsh on Israel itself, because it feels like a whole people. And like, as an American, like, we got that in the world years ago for a lot of our complicity in these bad things. And I'm like, I'm a good American. Like, don't
right.
me, but like, I hate George Bush. Like, the Bush era was very like,
I mean, I would say the difference is like, it's pretty 50-50, right? Like, half the country was for George Bush and half definitely wasn't, right?
No, it's not.
Now, I know. It's just, this is the only part of it that feels complicated to me, is how it works in the rest of the world. But it's because they are self-identified as a Jewish state and say that if you attack any of their policies, you're being anti-Semitic. So they're not leaving a lot of
I get that
wiggle room.
I get that completely. But it's also like, sort of like, you know, a Democrat living in a red state kind of thing on some level. Like, it's sort of like, some people over there are not choosing to kick Palestinians out of their homes.
Right.
In fact, they're getting arrested, fighting.
Yes.
You know, at the courthouse, they're getting kicked. They're getting ran over by horses recently. Like, you know, so like, I mean, you know more than I do. Even, I'm not trying to say you're blaming a people because you're Jewish, you know, so I should fuck off. But
no, I mean, I think I do think this is an important conversation, though, because I mean, it's really nasty work to conflate
but so
Judaism and
the left needs to make their point better, to not conflate Judaism and Zionism necessarily with is just being from Israel does not make you a bad person necessarily, you know, like, I'm just
I agree. I mean, I think people, I mean, again, like, I don't want to ascribe good motives to people who don't have them. And I also, you know, if that's truly what it is, like, oh, it's an excuse to just condemn Jews, but also I don't know.
But a large piece of that on the right is that, you know, it's just racist shit.
Yeah.
So that's why this is where it always comes down to, like, the argument on the left of like not letting some of these people speak at functions. It's like, you know, if they're racist at their core, we don't really want their allyship just because they agree on hating Zionism when they also hate your existence as a Jewish person.
Right.
Like we need to sort this out and not like, yeah, vote with us or something on an issue, but like, I'm not going to platform somebody who's fucking half his purpose is to white pride or something. Like,
exactly.
Like, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see some of the comments and
Nick Fuentes, absolute garbage piece of shit. He's not welcome on our show.
No, my God. Yeah. He's absolutely an anti-Semite and anti-Jewish and a bigot and disgusting. And I have seen people who I thought were allies definitely interchanging Jews and Israelis and genocide as if they're all synonyms or genociders. And that is,
but it's not, it's not subtle. It didn't happen overnight. Like they use the language of rats. They will, the people that do this are the ones that blur the lines and don't see the like, hey, don't use the retarded word. Don't say retarded to people. You know, it's all intertwined and like it's in the anti-wokeness that leads you towards this like, well, anti-woke, let's get Fuentes on.
Yeah. Yeah, we can partner with them. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I mean, I've seen that too. And I've written a couple times to object to some of his statements that have I think gone way too heavy into anti-Semitism and not anti-Israel and anti-Zionism. But I think it's a hard path. And again, this is not the biggest issue right now, but yeah, we just have to keep reminding people that Zionism is, 100 years old and Judaism is millennia old. So they are very different projects. And as Jews, we need to speak up even more loudly against Zionism and against the project of Israel as a Zionist state. So that is for sure on Jews everywhere and in this country. It would be nice if more temples and rabbis and Jewish institutions were more outspoken. I think that has really been lacking, unfortunately. Yeah.
But also, like, honestly, as someone not from the Jewish community and not connected to it at all, I see so many American Jewish organizations supporting Palestine. So it's like, it's so clear to me to not conflate the two. And I think that's how most Americans perceive that out the gate is like,
yeah.
I mean, most, at least leftists, don't think of it as like, let's be against the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Like I see their support of the, like the Jews for Palestine, Jews for peace, I see all that. And I think like, these are the people I'm in solidarity with and they're on our side. And these are people like, this is good for your religion that these people are out there supporting the values.
I agree. And also, which is why, because I know we're almost done, but like to go back to Mamdani in New York and all of these accusations of him being anti-Semitic, which is bullshit. He had the most Jewish support of any of the candidates. He has Jewish politicians in New York and in the city, in the state who are standing with him. You can be very much like, it is part of my Jewish upbringing that I believe that, every life is a universe and, that we don't do harm or we should not do harm. And that is a value that I feel like we as humans all should have. So I really do resent Zionism for making that conflation.
I brought this up before, but it reminds me of when I worked with I had a friend that was Muslim. When 9/11 happened, he called all the people in the office. He was just a humble sales rep, but the office was nice enough to give him a platform to speak to people about how 9/11 didn't reflect on Muslim ideology,
right?
And so like it's the same thing kind of now,
Yeah, it is.
Except
Although that was demanded.
You're the good guys.
That was like demanded of them, and now it's still like, do you condemn Hamas? Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Right.
Just anyway, I just thought, because I'm seeing a lot of these sorts of videos that at first I'm like, yeah, tell these IDF soldiers they are baby killers and they are not welcome and they don't deserve to have a vacation around civilized people in our society. And then it veers towards something where I'm like, ooh, and you maybe don't deserve to be here in civilized society either. And it does become very uncomfortable. But yeah. All right.
And Deborah, I just got to say, I agree with you. Sabby and Jay, Jade.
So fun. Yep.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, has written me privately several times to thank me for being outspoken as a Jewish person, and that he's just been very kind and outgoing that way. And I do appreciate that so much.
Yeah. So don't take anything we said against,
Oh yeah. No,
RBM. We're not anti.
No, not at all.
Or anything. It's just like some people want to work with the worst people and some people don't. I don't want to work with the worst people. And some of the RBN folks are like, yeah, it's cool. Let's reform this guy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
You're being diplomatic. That was my version. That was my version of being diplomatic.
I know. No, I know. I feel like
no, don't say anything else. Don't
yeah.
We'll end it being diplomatic.
Yes. Okay. So that's it, right? Is that where we're going? Are we headed out?
It's a wrap. What do we
Okay. So
we have a good thing.
We do have one good thing. We have one good thing, and we'll just let it play. Sunday, we are supposed to have a visit from Ron Placone. So I'm hoping along with his rage, we will have a little more humor on the show for the first like 45 minutes. We're excited to have him on Sunday. And fuck ICE, fuck the IDF. Cheers to all of you. Thank you for your support. Keep punching up. We'll see you Sunday.
Here, I'm pushing the button.